Should we be embarrassed by our 2023 predictions? Stay tuned and find out.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. We are the Hatch Homes Group and it's our weekly housing market update. So today we're going to talk about our predictions. We always say we don't have a crystal ball, we can't tell you, but we often give predictions. And actually, when we look at what our 2023 housing market predictions were that we talked about in our housing market update at the beginning of this year, we were actually pretty spot on. So good job, y'all. All right, so we are going to recap. What did we talk about with interest rates, home prices, sales volume, and inventory? We're going to review what we said would happen and what are we ending the year out with.
The actuality versus our predictions. Yeah.
Interest rates. You want me to do it?
Yeah, do it again.
Sorry. Interest rates. We said we would finish in the high sixes, and guess what? As of this video, we're actually in the mid sixes. So that's pretty fantastic. And we were a bit more conservative because I feel like at the start of the year, there were a lot of, there's always a lot of chatter. And so there was lenders and some other reports that a lot of people thought we might finish the year in the fives, but we felt that would probably not happen. And so we were a bit more conservative in our guess.
And it feels so much better to be going down to the sixes instead of up to the sixes, right?
That's for sure.
Very, very much so.
And so now home prices, we were not quite spot on, right? So, but we were pretty close. We predicted only a 0.5 increase, but in reality, we saw a decrease for the first time in about a decade. So Oregon appreciated overall, but Portland was depreciating. Most recent CoreLogic report states that Portland saw a negative 0.7% decrease. Plenty of neighborhoods saw an appreciation, and some were hit pretty hard. So looking at the home price graph, it's pretty flat line. And we saw a mid-year decline, but it was roughly about 0.5%, but pretty much overall, it was a flat line.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's close to what we predicted, right? We predicted 0.5% appreciation, which is not really much of an appreciation year over year. Definitely a little surprised that we went down, but also when you look at how inflated we got during the boom, I don't think it's anything to really be concerned about, quite frankly. I think that was a balance that our market kind of needed. And there's a few sellers that might, have a negative effect on, especially condo owners, which I think got hit the hardest. But overall, I don't think that's a scary number.
Agreed. So let's talk about sales volume overall. How many homes it increased or decreased? We actually saw a decrease in sales year over year, about 26.2%. That means that less homes also came on the market, about 18% less. And we were right about that. Like, we knew that new listings would decrease given the fact that many sellers or homeowners are at 3% interest rate. So they really wouldn't want to trade up for that 7% or 8% that we got. And I mean, nobody really thought that we would get to that level. But we were pretty spot on with knowing that the volume would go down. And that trickles into inventory, right? So we were right that new listings would decrease, but we were kind of surprised by how much. And I think that is directly correlated to how much the interest rates went up, because that played a huge factor in the demand. And so, it remains to be seen how the next year will play out too. But
yeah, it's no shocker that, when interest rates went up to 8%, which we were all like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they got up this high, that would affect sales volume, right? And we're feeling all that right now in the market.
Absolutely feeling it, yeah.
And so sales volume trickles into inventory, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, with lower sales, it's no shocker that we'd have higher inventory. So right now, Portland metro area, we're at 3.5 months inventory, which is the highest we've seen in years. But the interesting thing about it is that if you're a buyer doing a home search right now, you don't feel that. You don't feel like, oh, wow, we have so much inventory. Like it just doesn't feel that way. Yes, there are definitely more homes to go out there and look at and purchase, but we don't feel like it's like, wow, there's tons. As a seller, you feel that high inventory a lot more, and it's because it's just longer days on market.
Technically still a seller's market with that 3.5 months of inventory, because a balanced market would be 5 to 6 months. But given that inventory levels are there, it just, the sellers don't have as much of an upper hand as they did before. And so with those longer days on market comes a little bit more concessions.
There's
And so it's not the expectations of sellers, I think, has really changed a lot, because there's not multiple offer situations like we were seeing before.
every house.
Oh, yeah.
There
Like every
still
house.
are, just to caveat,
Yeah.
there still are some fierce multiple offer situations, but it's just like not everyone. Like
But when
Far
I think when
between.
you look at an average like list to sales price ratio too, there's a lot of areas that have like a 98 to 99% list to sales price ratio,
Yeah.
but it's that longer days on market, so it's taking longer to get it.
yeah, I mean, when you look at talking about inventory, when you looked at new listings overall decreased 18.4% this year. So there's that many lower listings, but we have higher inventory. You know what I mean? Like, I think that just like those are the keys right there. It shows longer days on market.
Yep. That we definitely didn't predict that long.
So is this
yeah.
just the outro?
So
Done enough?
even though technically the numbers show in a lot of places we're still in the seller's market, feels a lot more balanced right now. And again, that's kind of what we expected this year to turn out to be.
Yeah.
So good job, us.
Yay!
That means you need to stay tuned for our predictions for 2024.
That's
We've
right.
been pretty good this year.
That's right. You got to listen to us, people.
Like and subscribe and share with all your friends.
Yeah, and please let us know what you think. We'd love to hear what your predictions are too, and talk about that.
Yeah,
Thanks
it'll be
for tuning in.
It's always interesting to hear other people's predictions.
Interesting.
All right.
Thank
Have a good one.
you.